Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah. Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics gear.
You want to get further into anything like that? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Massenomics podcast. I am Tyler, joined by Tommy.
What's up?
And also the ever charismatic Tanner.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, a little flavor on that one.
It's just my personality coming out.
So this week we have a laundry list of show notes to get through here, but we're going to start by talking about something we think is pretty fucking cool here.
Of utmost importance.
Actually,
you know what? I do have one thing. I forgot to bring this up for a few weeks now.
Okay.
Remember the day we
Coming in from left field here.
I just remember. I always wanted to say this.
Totally not on the show notes, Tommy.
I know. We'll just have to be an extra long podcast today, I guess.
Here we go.
Yep. Throw them out.
Doesn't matter what was on that.
I guess we're just doing this by the seat of our pants again.
You know that day Sean's was here and we were talking about knee tits?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys see the hashtag?
I went to that.
Did that? I didn't. Oh yes, I have.
Yeah. And
it's
there's
sticking
five
their knees in.
There's
their shirt.
5 things tagged under knee tits.
Yeah.
And one of them is a classic picture that I'm glad Sean's is now associated with. In some
I
way.
have to look it up.
So yeah, if you haven't, check out the hashtag knee tits on Instagram.
So
And-
it's people like sticking their...
Well, the one picture, it's like a 600-pound lady. And it's just, when you're 600 pounds, things are in
You have
ways
tits
they shouldn't
everywhere.
be.
But yeah, most of them are people just pulling their knees up. And then there's this one.
That's the one I.
Oh my goodness.
Can you put that one in front of this?
I don't think so. I don't think we need to do that.
Okay.
Just look at hashtag knee tits.
Maybe
guys.
show
Scroll to the
Tanner though,
bottom.
so he knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go. Hashtag knee tits on Instagram.
Oh,
That's weird.
that's not healthy.
Seems like that would be cumbersome to carry
Got my
around.
show notes back.
Good Lord.
So I didn't know
But
if
at
you
the
guys
top
had
of the hashtag knee tits
is the Massenomics podcast.
is now Kristen commented on there. There's no way hashtag knee tits is actually linked to anything. And then she said she clicked on the hashtag and went, oh, wow. Sean should be proud to be part of that elite club now.
Yep. That's good.
That is good. So,
Groundbreaking stuff here.
So this week we wanted to get into a little bit of a thing that Matt down at Pioneer, General Leathercraft,
Friends of the podcast. They are putting together amongst, I think he's kind of spearheading it, but I think there's a lot of other groups and organizations now that are getting behind to support it. Let me pull up the official title here. They're doing a lifter appreciation meet, which is basically, they're actually going to try to raise some real money. They're going to make donations through this page. They're trying to make $150,000 the total prize money. So it would be like a regular powerlifting meet, except there's actually a prize.
And there's some big money there.
There is some big money there. I mean, I would gladly come and get dead last. just for a shot of everyone above me getting hurt.
So this is their lifter appreciation meet. Is this through like the IPL or something? Is that what?
I don't was this? No, there was a federation attached to it.
And
That's
again,
a good
this is
question.
super early in the process for these guys, so there's not a ton of stuff out there on it yet. But I know if you hop on his page, he has this one. It says IPL, the Tribute Powerlifting Meet, invite only. First round of invites going out soon, San Antonio, Texas.
So I don't even get to just go. I got to get invited.
I wondered that too. What their process is for that, like
For the
how
invite?
Yeah. And
It's like my elite 1,200 pound total at super heavyweight 308 plus is not going to get me an invite.
Well,
apparently.
we don't know that it's not still in the mail or something. You know,
It
Maybe
could
it's
be,
coming.
yeah.
It's coming.
They said they're coming soon, so yeah, I'd still wait a few weeks.
We live a
before.
long ways from Texas. Maybe it took a while to get.
And I wonder if Matt is doing that part of it too, or if like someone at the IPL. I don't know that. So that's the federation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know a lot about that.
I don't either.
Yes.
I'm not super familiar with the IPL, International Powerlifting League. But it, yeah, it'd be interesting to see who they have. I think the whole thing with the meet is to get lifters in for free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like make
pay
this.
and maybe pay their way to even get there. I saw some talk about
Is that what there was
yeah,
too?
Yeah, pay for them, like pay for travel, maybe even, and
Yeah, so like actually maybe treat these guys like they're real, like they're actually in an athletic event
Yeah.
that's giving back, you know, in some way.
Yeah.
So it could be really cool to see, and I would imagine if they get some of these guys out there, you're going to see some monster totals popping up too.
it's so early that it's hard to tell now. But I'll be curious to see which, you know, the success of the meet itself will probably depend a little bit on which guys end up, you know, accepting invitations. I'm sure they're going to invite everyone that's, you know, of the guys that we
there's
follow.
real money on the line,
That should be the incentive.
Because frankly, there isn't. You're not going to sit out on a possible.
If you could win like $30,000
$40,000
or, you know,
or $30,000 or $20,000, like you're not going to just be like, well, I'm going to wait for. I mean, I had one on my schedule that I could have won $250 and a free meat shirt.
Yeah.
Or a sword or something, you know.
But there, you know, it seems like a lot of times with those guys, there is some things of them not wanting to do meets, you know, against each other. But the money should take care of that, I think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I would hope. I mean,
'cause
that
you're
was
like-
kind of the goal with the U.S. Open a little bit, wasn't it?
I think so, too.
To just like throw some money out there, get like the best performance we can across, you know, men's and women's classes, and see what happens.
Yeah.
So right now, there is a GoFundMe for this. They're also looking for, you know, there's lots of individuals that are pledging money through there. They're also looking for some businesses, you know, in this arena to donate some money or try to get involved somehow. So
He's had a few posts now saying, you know, tag companies you want to see get involved.
And I think, and we'll probably put some of this out through our Instagram as well, and we'll be sharing this. But as it goes on, we would like you guys, as our listeners, to make sure that you are, if there's any company that you're associated with in the powerlifting space, to get a bug in their ear and get them to get involved in this, because it would be pretty sweet to have more, you know, say like a U.S. Open type of. If there was 3 of those fucking things a year, there's a lot more. You know, that's just good for the sport. If there's not money in the sport, the best athletes are not going to stay in the sport. Or you're just making it really hard on them to stay in the sport. So
They're more likely to stay if they can make 50. You know, you can do this and make some money too.
And the truth of the matter is, most of the money that's getting made isn't getting made out of winning.
Sponsorships.
It's getting made out of sponsorship. So who's got the best Instagram feed, which then becomes a totally different thing that's separate from the sport. So I think Matt's onto something here. But you should, you know, if there's any company that you're associated with that you know, jump their shit. The link is, and we'll share this also, the link is gofundme.com/lifter-appreciation-event. And pass that along.
Do you know how to spell appreciation, though, Tyler?
You guys are just going to have to Google. Okay. Just tell Siri to do it. She'll sort it out. The other thing I noticed was, speaking of Matt at Pine, well, what else did we have to cover as far as the event? I want to get into that later. Yep.
I just I've seen some companies out there comment how they're going to be definitely in on supporting it, like JB Boss, who we've been around them before, and I'm sure that they'll support it any way they can, and a list of other ones. I can't think of them all offhand, but a lot of, you know, he's had those posts where he's saying tag the companies that you want, that you'd like to see involved in this, and Massenomics has been tagged several times actually, and I would say we would definitely like to support it in some way.
We just don't actually.
We're just not exactly flush for cash.
We just don't actually make any money, you guys.
If this is one way that we're hopefully able to support it, is with our audience that we do have, we're getting the message out there.
Get some eyes on it.
Yeah, we can't pay. We don't pay ourselves anything. I don't know if you guys know this. We don't pay ourselves anything for any of this. So
we have a hard time like giving away money that
we don't have.
Yeah,
like it would just be me writing a check that's not my truck payment that month to go to. So we just don't have the means really to do it, and we'll do what we can to get involved if need be. But That's one way we can help is with this platform is to get you guys to.
Or you could just get some friends and I'll order 100 T-shirts, each of you.
Each of you
and,
order
like,
100 T-shirts.
We could totally start making.
Or if you guys want to just donate money to us,
we'll split it with the meat.
Yes.
Well, no. We'll keep it, and then we will donate some of it.
We'll determine how much we're exactly going to donate.
But we will be supporting this event. One way or another, we're going to try and help, and we think this is one way we can. We'd just like to have you guys get out there and blow your horns and try to rally as many people behind it as you can.
Companies is going to be a big source of the cash to hit that 150,000, but individuals can donate.
There's plenty of individual donors that have ponied up here, and actually most of what you're seeing here as of right now, because most of the businesses have pledged but not made it official, as I'm sure most of those things take a little bit more time. But if you're just a dude and you got some expendable money and you want to support something, do it.
Yeah. And we know that we can say from personal experience that to consider $150,000 is a lot of money. So the person in charge of that needs, you want to trust that person is going to do the right things with that $150,000. But with Matt from Pioneer, we can say that we know that is the case, that he would be doing the right thing with it and doing everything that, in the best interest of this event that he's trying to put on, they're trying to put on.
The fact of the matter is, if this was a Massenomics powerlifting meet and you were donating $150,000 to us, we would fuck it all up.
Well, I mean, it'd be pretty sweet. We'd have some really cool stuff. It probably wouldn't be necessary for the meet.
We would probably spend about $20,000 on the meet.
We'd have $5,000 in smoke machines alone, probably. You wouldn't know
pyrotechnics. Blow it all on pyrotechnics.
We would have like a Russian
metal band.
Fire.
We got a band and it speaks a language none of you guys know, but it's gonna be cool.
We could get like a Ramstein or something just to play Du Hast over and over again.
10 hours of it.
Listen, don't even say anything. Just do that riff the whole time.
That would be good.
So we're looking forward to it. We'd love to attend. Our schedules are a little weird at that time, so we're still. There's
nothing important going on in August, though, is there?
No weddings, no strongman competitions, no nothing.
Yeah, we might be a little tied up, but we'll be there in spirit. Maybe we'll send some shirts.
Between now and then, maybe we'll figure out some other ways that we can help support it in ways.
What we'll do is we'll just send nudes.
Ooh,
yeah,
D-pics.
There's a lot of Instagram
we are going
posts.
to we're going to send Matt a whole bunch of D-pics. Listen, Matt, we don't have any money.
You make money on this however you need to.
What we do have is dicks.
We're rich in dicks.
We have so many dick pics, Matt. If I deleted all the dick pics off my phone, it would be physically lighter. Speaking of dicks, we also wanted to get into
I like this transition.
Matt's not beef, I would say, a decision. Pioneer announced that they will not be pursuing approval for the IPF.
And this was, so if you haven't been following this, I think you need to read this for him, Tyler. But this was very eye-opening, actually, the type of money that is involved to be associated with the IPF.
Yeah, so I'm just going to flat out read Matt's stuff word for word here. He said, I have some bad news, y'all. Pioneer will not be pursuing IPF approval for 2019 to 2022 period. The reason behind the decision is due to the amount of money that they are requiring to be on the list. We simply would not want to pay $190,000 to see our wraps and belts on a list. Given the number of members in the IPF and USAPL, it just doesn't make much sense for us to pay that kind of fee in our eyes for such a small amount of potential customers. Please understand this decision hurts me, but I have to do what I feel is good for the company. Regards, Pioneer. And attached is what they have for the IPF. In total, it would be 45,000 euros per year. There's a red flag right there. What the fuck is a euro?
Yeah, no one knows.
Is that anything like Bitcoin?
I think probably.
So.
Where it's like that. Is that even real?
We usually kind of like to throw in a little Bitcoin conversation in each
you know,
episode.
Keep up with the times.
Yeah, I heard it's a thing. And he said, with the rules stated in the file with the fees, you'll have to pay 2 years in advance of your fees, and 2 years the license fee for 1 year, the bronze package in advance, which means 60,000 euros in advance, and each year afterwards $30,000.
Man.
And 1,875 euros split into quarterly payments during the 4-year period.
That's so. And then,
Fuck all
so
that,
either
like-
way, what was it all together then? 190,000
190 grand.
American.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Like
Yeah,
what
that's-
company is like
that's-
recouping that? Actually,
That's my thing. Is if you're being real, like
How many belts does he have to sell to
let's just
net?
let's just pretend that Matt makes 3 to 1. Like he triples his money on every belt he sells.
Let's even just do just a simple calculation on just belts, just to even equal that, like without profit. So 100.
Yeah,
what
just
do you
gross.
say? 190,000
Yeah.
Yeah.
divided by. Let's just say a belt's
The
120
average is
ish.
120 maybe.
Yeah. That's 1,583 belts, which isn't a unheard of number, but that's not assuming any profit in there.
Yeah,
You know, like
I mean, you could probably double
you'd
it
have
when
to-
we're talking
Yeah.
profit. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
at least.
and that's just to recoup
so
his
that's
cost. That's not even-
2,500 belts. I believe that's quite a few belts. You know,
That's
that's
a lot
like,
of belts.
That is
like-
because a belt really will last you a decade.
Forever.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
and that's profit completely gone. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
ha-
just to get
gone,
back
gone,
to
gone,
your
gone.
like,
base.
if you're spending $200,000 out there on, I don't know if you call this advertising or what you call it, but you're picturing that's gonna come back to you in some way.
from like an opportunity cost, it doesn't fucking make any sense.
Well, and then
Right?
here's the other thing, though, is that this is for IPF competitions. This isn't even like USAPL thing.
No,
so
not local competitions, it doesn't matter. You
yeah,
can
and
still wear
I still
Pioneer.
forget, like at nationals, like USAPL nationals, do
You have to have
IPF?
you couldn't wear a Pioneer belt at USAPL Nationals. You actually couldn't wear it at a USAPL regional meet. Like
Regional too is the same way?
But like the local one that we do,
Yep.
you know, that
Yeah,
you could wear it there. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So you're really limited.
So,
If you
yeah,
really
'cause
talk
you're-
about the market,
yeah, like that, you're really only marketing yourself to
Only the
elite
elite,
level
yes.
lifters,
World
of
yeah.
the USAPL IPF.
and then you'd have to convince all of them to buy your stuff all of a sudden too. Like that's just a hard like.
And,
And
so
they-
if we're throwing rounded out numbers, it's say 2,500, 3,000 belts just to break even. Do you, from a business standpoint, like I look at this like, say my fucking gym. If I had to have twice as many members to make the same amount of money,
yeah.
no,
Is that better to do
it's
twice
not
as much
better.
work
I
to
want
make
fucking half
Yeah.
the members in the same, like that doesn't
Yeah.
make any fucking sense.
Right.
So I absolutely don't blame him because while they're pretty well known now, I mean they're not a huge fucking business.
Right.
They have
But it makes you wonder, like who. So the people on the list, like obviously SBD is probably the biggest name on the list. And like Titan's been on the list forever. Inzer's pretty much been on the list forever. Then you kind of have some other people in there.
I just wonder if there's some.
Like, were they kind of grandfathered in with different pricing?
That's what I'm
Well,
wondering.
that's
Or if there's
Matt's
some,
alluded to that before. That
He has mentioned
that
that.
maybe
like,
there's some politicking going on.
When we did our interview with Matt, you can check that out on our website if you ever want to, and you can learn everything you want to know about his company and what they're doing there.
top-notch journalism.
It is top notch.
The Wall Street Journal offered us a.
One of the sections in there is this exact topic that
Yeah.
we're talking about right here, and that was
This is a year
yeah,
ago?
a year,
Year and a
maybe a
half
little
ago?
over a year ago. He said the exact same thing last time. And the dollar figures are in there, and they're a lot lower even 2 years ago when he
I
checked.
think was it around like maybe 120 then,
Something
120,000.
like that. And he said, "Well, we would love to be on that list, but it at the end of the day, it's a business decision, and that does not pencil out. Like, there's no way for that to make any sense for us." And he said that he doesn't believe everyone has the same is not looking at the same price sheet for that. That it's
I would say that almost has to be the case.
yeah.
And then in his case, it probably makes things even harder because he's like really dedicated to the American-made, all-American thing, where you get a lot of these companies just buying the cheapest thing they can get from China, and then just marking it up to match standard prices to be competitive. Where Matt is like trying to source things from America, so that's obviously going to be more expensive. So he probably has smaller margins in the first place than a lot of these people.
Yep. That's true. It's a crazy number that they're asking for when you consider. And
It just makes it seem like, are they like playing a game of poker, like
And-
just seeing how far they could push this before someone calls the bluff here?
where
That's what I'm wondering. Is if
Yeah.
I think there's one of two ways. They're like, let's just set this totally fucking ridiculous number, and if they pay it, holy shit. And then the other thing though is there a little bit of, let's say the types that maybe could be grandfathered in there, who have been shaking hands with the right people for a long time, for decades and decades. Like, they don't want a new player in the mix, frankly. If how many brands are approved for, say, just belts alone? I don't
Probably
know,
SBD, Titan,
5?
Inzer.
There's, I think, like best belts,
They
like
might
some of
be
those
too.
I
So
think
there
are,
might be
but
5, maybe. Yeah.
So you don't want someone coming in potentially grabbing, another quarter of your market. Like, but so I wonder if there just is some of that. Like, listen, guys, we've been with you for a long time. We need you to keep this shit out of here, and which is bullshit. But
what's the IPF doing with that money? Because
they
running
are
an organization.
but there is no prize. There is
I
no
know,
financial, and the
people running the meets are all not
I
getting
think
paid.
really what it is though is because they're chasing so hard, and there's definitely people listening to this that know more about this stuff than we do. But
guys, no, I think
I take that back. I take that back.
that's a
We
stretch.
are the experts.
Listen,
We
nobody
are
in the fucking world knows more than we do about this.
like
And go.
They're making their like just this crazy, stupid, hard push to be in the Olympics. Which, I mean, if that's what you want, like, awesome, fine, whatever. But I think you see, like, you get the Olympics involved, and this whole level of
Gets even
politics
weirder.
gets
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
And then when there's politics and worlds and different countries involved and the whole world getting this all together, there's money that gets involved, and there's all this changing of money in hands just to see. And, like, the worst part of it, I think they talked about this on the Juggernaut podcast. So, like, the worst part of it all is, like, we're literally talking about something that's so simple of moving a weight from point A to point B, and it gets bogged down with these contracts that are hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you have federations, and it gets murky.
what do you think? What's your opinion on the Olympics thing? Do you think powerlifting should be in the Olympics?
I think from, like, if you just look at, like, sports, like, oh yeah, powerlifting totally compared to a lot of sports, I think.
That are in the Olympics.
Yeah, compared to some of them, like,
There's a lot of things in the Olympics that are fucking so stupid.
yeah.
that, like,
right.
and it's like, like, people say that powerlifting doesn't have many people in it, but it's like some of those things
How
I've
many
never.
people do you know that cross country ski and shoot guns at the same time?
Like,
we live in a place
live in a part of the
with
country that
snow and everyone has guns.
and it is.
I don't know anybody that does that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that in my entire life. And like ribbon dancing or whatever that stuff is, I've never met anyone that does that.
Bobsledding. How many people like?
Yeah.
Where do you
Now,
go?
granted, the Winter Olympics.
we were talking
the
the Winter
Olympics is for rich white kids.
Yeah.
That was invented. The Winter Olympics were invented so
they
that
could be in
rich
the
white
Olympics.
kids could stop getting stomped in the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
And so we like all got our own Olympics now.
Yeah.
But the thing with powerlifting is it's a strength sport, and right now in weightlifting in the Olympics is just fucking up left and right. They retroactively are finding medals are changing hands constantly. Even at Worlds now, medals are changing hands. The Worlds, it was 2 months ago. So the drug testing is a big issue in which there's a pretty good chance that weightlifting will get pulled from the Olympics. And would they go to just no strength sport? Very likely. However, if the USAPL if they do bump weightlifting out, I think that would be the most likely scenario. Probably the only scenario with which powerlifting would get moved in. Weightlifting is really dirty. So many drug tests all over the world. USAPL, I think, does a
They
fairly
seem
good
to
job.
be doing a good job.
Or
I
at
think
least nobody's getting caught publicly, so it's getting slit.
Yeah.
It's kind of the CrossFit
Yeah, how do you really
games
know?
methodology.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody's passing must be.
I mean, you
clean.
can see, you can go into the in the database, and
but
like see,
but beyond that, like if they were doing, like if they were manipulating it or doing something like,
or if it just wasn't.
like to us, it seems like they're doing a really good job. But if they were doing that, we wouldn't know.
Yeah, like there's this Icarus thing happening behind the scenes.
Right.
So, but the other thing is, I think if that sport goes out, it would be a great replacement for it. You have a whole clean federation, all structured, still international. That would work really well. For them to just get added, it's like, well, the Olympics is already fighting this fight with weightlifting right now. I just don't think they would bring another strength sport because you're talking, my numbers might be off a little, but not a lot. You're talking like 5 to 10 to 1 the retroactive failed drug test for weightlifting versus any other Olympic sport. It's fucking super dirty. So why would they want to bring another one in until they've got this one sorted out? And just recently, and they've talked about it on other podcasts too, but they kind of got sort of approved that they think weightlifting will be safe through like 2022 or something like that. But the whole thing was the IWF has to like prove to the Olympic Committee that you're cleaning up the sport, you're making all these efforts, and they come through, and then they're like, all right, we're not going to let any of these countries compete at Worlds. Okay, good job. You punished them, except you're an off year. None of them fucking care.
Yeah.
Frankly, they can all do steroids now for 2 more years, and then fucking get ready to compete next time they're allowed to compete. But then in the same breath, they change Ilya Ilyin, who's like basically the best of all time. They're going back and changing his suspension so that he can compete again.
Yeah, because it was like he wasn't warned.
He failed twice.
But when he failed the second time, he didn't know.
He failed the second time, but he had already submitted the dirty urine to the first one. It was like 4 and 8
So
years
he
ago.
hadn't been penalized for the first one yet.
So they charged him as just one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you weren't punished. It was like. It's like if you robbed 2 banks.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, it was just one crime.
You didn't catch
story.
me until the second one.
You can't charge me as a repeat offender. I just robbed some banks that week. And so then they're also going back and they're charging him with 2 or with 1, and then they're only going to suspend him for what the suspension originally would have been back at the first time, not when they caught him. But back before, he would have been caught then. So it's only like 2 years. They're like, well, Ilya, I guess we're going to bring you back now. And so it's another thing where it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It doesn't seem like they're really doing
They're
the
not
things.
really doing the thing. And
shouldn't they just make it a zero tolerance policy if like that's what they?
If you want to have a clean sport,
like you do it once, like
you fail
you
a
can
drug
never
test,
come back.
You're done forever. That's pretty easy.
Well, because it literally cleans itself up then because the people that are doing it, they just get kicked out forever.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, if more people want to keep doing it, like, you'll come.
And if you want to compete in that sport, it becomes very, you don't even want to associate with people that are using, because if this motherfucker goes down, all the heat's going to come with me because we train together and it just becomes problematic. You don't want a bunch of noses up your ass. But so that's what I think. Maybe that would be a window that powerlifting could move right into. I don't know why they would just. The Olympics does some weird shit though. Remember they were going to get rid of wrestling?
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Like of all the stupid things that they keep in the Olympics, and they're like, no, listen. The original thing that happened, like probably as far as in my opinion the Olympics goes, the sport that is the most true to what a sport is. One man imposing his will on another man just in a goddamn ring.
Not a whole lot of rules.
Just take that man, like on, what is it, on Ladies Man, where he's like, pin him to the ground until he squeals like a little piglet. But that is what a sport is. Like a person and his competitor against each other. Like fucking basketball is, frankly, like, a lot more bullshit that goes on in there than just like, all right, who is better? Lock them in this fucking ring and go.
Yep.
And why in the fucking world would they go, all right, wrestling, let's go?
I think it goes back to the money thing.
It's got to be the money thing. It had to be someone wasn't playing ball. And which is odd. I feel bad for Matt, but also if the money doesn't add up, then I'm happy for him to be willing to be like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that he would acquiesce on this anytime in the future. I don't even know why he'd revisit it.
No, because they're not gonna start charging him less. I don't
another
think
4
either.
years. I don't know what's not even
right.
Like,
but it's just even the nature of these products. Understanding that, like these products aren't designed to like for you to buy them monthly, or even like 6 months. A lot of them not even like every couple of years. Like
especially Matt's. I mean, he's trying to make a product that's gonna.
The whole point is you're building something that someone's gonna have for like a lifetime or at least a decade. And I understand wraps maybe. You'll need those more, but God, you're just like pricing yourself out of the market. It seems like.
Oh, that's interesting. They do have free vendor booths to all that donate towards the prize money pool.
Ooh. Like, what's the minimum
What's their
requirement?
minimum donation, Matt?
Well, I mean, we could scratch up $100.
Oh, I'm going to talk to my wife. Listen, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but CrossFit gym ownership, not a terribly profitable endeavor. At least not the way I'm doing it. But no, it'll be good. We're looking forward to that. Hopefully that turns out really well. And, you guys jump some people's shit. Spread the word. We'll make some posts about this. Make sure you share it.
If it does go well, I'm sure they're hoping that this wouldn't be the first and only time that they do it.
Yeah.
If it went really well, I'm sure they'd want to make it an annual thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. What did we have to run into next, you guys? We had. Do you want to dive into a couple reviews?
Yeah, I
quick,
was gonna
Tanner,
say,
while I move through this on the show notes?
I'll pull up a few reviews here. It's the reviews are funny. It's kind of like we'll go a month without being able to have many that we can read, and then all of a sudden they'll pack in here. So I think I've got 3 to read today.
3.
Yeah. And got to bear with me while I get this pulled up here. The last review that we left off with was from Les Keys, so I'll pull up after that.
Big Les, Dirty
Yeah.
Les.
Takes me a minute to get to it here with the whole Apple Podcast system.
You're not using my Wi-Fi down in the dungeon, are you?
I'm not even sure.
That's going to be your first mistake.
I'm not sure. Okay, I'm nearly there.
All right.
Nearly.
I'm going to sing a little tune here.
Okay. Okay, here we go. 5 out of 5 stars. This is from VA Sweeps. That doesn't mean anything to either of you guys, does it?
Nope.
Okay. Title is Get Huge. He said, I love the show. I binged through 80 episodes in about a month.
Wow,
My man.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
that is impressive.
I wakes up in the middle
It's
of the
like
night
hours a day.
to the sound of our super boring voices. Like, Jesus.
That has to be like torture in some cultures.
80. So that's 80 hours.
Damn, that guy needs like a prize.
Yeah, picking up all kinds of tips and having plenty of laughs. I appreciate the time you guys put in, and we'll keep listening and telling everyone else as well. Thank you for that. That's the key, is telling everyone else as well.
Yeah, he's got it figured out.
This one, 5 out of 5 stars from Strong Doc, DOC. So maybe this is a doctor.
We appeal to all
Yeah.
demographics.
His title is No BS. And he said, he or she, I say he.
Yeah,
but-
we just assume he.
Yeah, but
There's a few ladies
if
out
you're
there.
a woman out there, I apologize for calling you a man. A great non-filtered look at powerlifting. Keep up the great work, guys. Will do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The last one here is also 5 out of 5 stars. This is
Wow.
from Tristan Oakley. Tristan is the guy that runs the open powerlifting social medias. And he said, the best lifting podcast out there. I'm a powerlifter and I love powerlifting podcasts, but having a show with the perspective and input of a powerlifter, strongman, and CrossFitter really makes an interesting show that I love listening to weekly. This will always be a part of my weekly routine, and I can't wait to see these guys gain success.
Look at that. I mean, we couldn't have said it better ourselves.
No. It's an
I
excellent
still get
review.
called a CrossFitter. Huh?
Who's the CrossFitter? Who's the powerlifter? And who's the strongman here?
I
We
own a
need to-
CrossFit gym. Haven't done a lot of CrossFit in a while.
But you still know about.
It's not called Fitonomics, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd certainly be fitter. What I had to do is I had to get big so that I fit our name. So I was like, guys, I'm gonna have to
I'm gonna have to do this one
I'm
for
gonna have
the
to put
team.
my fitness on hold and get.
We didn't
fat
do the
as fuck.
name to fit us. We
We just invented a name, and then we
we're
had to
like, well,
aspire
what
to
can we
be-
do to fit this square peg into the round hole?
I guess we're all gonna have
Tyler's-
to get big.
Tyler's gonna have to gain weight.
Tyler, remember how you're trying to lose weight? If you're gonna get involved in
It's
this
actually not
shit,
going to work
you're
anymore.
gonna have to shut that down.
The first part of the name is mass.
Yeah, it's not called weight loss-onomics. I was going to get into, because we do have the Arnold coming up, and I don't believe that we're going to have the luxury of this competition again, because I know I talked to Nick at Live Large, and it's just a busy fucking weekend for him with the booth and all that stuff. But remember the eating contest we had? The dude who won?
Yeah.
Who just smoked us? His name is Derek Jacobs. You guys all need to go. He was unreasonably underfollowed on Instagram, considering what he fucking
He also
does.
seemed unreasonably undersized compared to the people in that room.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm sure we've talked about this in the past, after the event, but we had to eat one large, it's like a 17 or 19 inch pizza with one top.
And this was the JB Boss crew.
Yeah,
pretty much,
yeah.
right?
And Nick from Live Large is the one that
Yes,
put it
yes,
on.
yeah.
And but Dan Bell was there, Boss and Jay were there. There was a whole bunch of people there, and we just all of us were there, and we all dove in and fucking got absolutely crushed. This guy finished his pizza in like was like 6 minutes, sub 6
Really
or something
fast.
like that.
He
And
had
I
the
think-
cup of water.
Yeah,
So
he was doing the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And
but-
it grosses me out thinking about it now, but he got done, and everyone's like, "Well, there's still
sauce.
there's
in
still
the bottom
sauce
of
in that
water.
cup," and he just downed the cup.
Yeah.
And you know
with
that water
floating
was warm too.
with floating bread and tomato sauce in it.
So I've been following him ever since then, and I am telling you guys, he has 130 followers on Instagram. You need to check his feed because it is absolutely fucking crazy. All of you need to follow this guy. He basically just goes around and does eating contests all the time, and I bet he's tall guy, maybe 6'1", 6'2", probably.
I suppose something like that.
I can't imagine he weighs more than 180 pounds. Probably less than that. And I go through these things, and he's so far now he's finished 83 eating challenges.
Man,
And some of them are way impressive. Some of them are, I think, impossible. One of them here is bacon, ham, sausage, 10 eggs, toast, and it looks to me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 pancakes the size of a medium pizza.
yeah.
Finish that one. He goes into a lot of these. He'll have the times, So I like the weights, but you'll see things where it's like an entire fucking plate of French fries and like a 3-4 pound burger. Finish this in 15 minutes. Let's see. He got win number 81 and 82 in 3 hours. Meaning,
Like he did 2 competitions within 3 hours, you mean? Or
it looks to me like he did. Holy shit. Yeah, so 64 ounces of frozen yogurt, but he did 2 of them.
Like 128 ounces.
Yeah,
or
a gallon.
Oh,
What the fuck? It's unreal. This one here is a pizza, 16-pound pizza, 8 different meats. Only one person has ever beat it in 100 attempts, and finished it.
that's one thing
Oh, that was a team eat here. Here's one here, huge. 3 waffles, eggs, ham, corned beef. I mean, this is a stack of shit from basically his waist to his face. Finished in 18 minutes. Just some of the actual food quantities that he's getting in. This one is crazy. That fucking bowl of lobster pho. So it's fucking soup. Just a goddamn soup.
ugh, he
Huge.
ate that whole
it's
thing.
like 2 gallons. Finished in 25 minutes.
I've never understood how people have that just capacity in their stomach to do. Like I know there's like things you can train and do all that, but
He did make it to the actual Nathan's hot dog eating contest
Really?
this year too. Yeah, it didn't. He said he didn't have a good day, but yeah, some of this shit is just fucking. So he is DRock DROC 1300 DRock 1300 on Instagram, and just all of these things. Yeah, so here's a 3-man team, 13-pound pizza, 5 toppings, finished in a half hour.
yeah.
I don't know where he puts it all because he's still pretty fucking lean. That's when we were when we were there, and Dan Bell pipes up about halfway when he got finished. Dan's like, "Well, fine. What's your fucking total?"
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see? This was a while ago now, but like back in the day, MTV had that True Life series. Do you remember that?
yeah.
I'm a power lifter or something.
Oh, was there? Well, the one I was gonna say is they have like I'm a competitive eater, and it was Kobayashi. He was the first. He was the one that kind of put like a lot of that. Like I think he just crushed the records at that Nathan's hot dog contest, and they were following him in Japan, and he was into like lifting and stuff. He would go to the gym, and he was like really into taking care of his body. And if I remember correctly, he was actually kind of cut, like had abs and everything. But I think his whole secret advantage was he had some genetic situation where his stomach sat lower than most people's, so he could fill it up higher, and that's where he had the God-given talent to really flip the eating world on its head.
Yeah.
Last one here, D-Rock, 5 pounds of meat and a fucking cheesesteak, finished in 8 minutes.
That doesn't seem possible.
I don't even get it. So I told you guys in the past about the food, the one big challenge I did, which is like an 8-pound burger with 6 pounds of meat, and it took me all of an hour to eat 7 pounds of it. So I can't, and I was fucking. It's a weird day, and so I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine that shit. It's nuts. I also wonder, like one of the things I'd read, how those people don't get super fat is one, they don't eat like that, obviously, very often. But also,
They don't do
like
that every day.
also they will. This doesn't go for everybody, but they'll kind of like offset their calories throughout the week. So they'll actually eat filling food that's pretty low calories. And so let's just say on Saturday you have a competition, you're going to put down fucking a 12,000 calorie pizza. Then you might only eat 1,000 calories the week before a day, and 1,000 calories a day the week after.
So if you looked at their total calories for a week, it might not be
Yeah,
any
for a
different
month,
than
yeah.
Our month.
Yeah, it's probably not too totally crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hogged out on a buffet today, but that's been the first one in a while. But I pretty much need that from time to time.
Yeah, got to keep those levels up.
Yeah, I can't be getting fucking. It's not Smallonomics.
I came across something that fits into what we've talked about a few times. Garage Gym Reviews had a post a while back where it was comparing 3 bars: the Texas Power Bar, the Rogue Ohio Power Bar, and then the Kabuki Strength New Generation Power Bar.
Which we have experience with all three as well.
With all three, that's what this makes this particularly interesting for us. Anyways, he goes through diameter, tensile strength, and price. We kind of know about that. But what was interesting about this was the comments and who was commenting on it. Kabuki Strength commented on there. And also, I just looked this up, and I believe that it's been deleted because I can't find the comments anymore. They commented and said, basically, theirs doesn't even compare to any of those other bars. Like, with what they did, it's virtually uncomparable with any of those other ones because of the steel or the strength of the steel. I don't know. I wish they wish they hadn't deleted it.
The way I remember it kind of being explained was that the numbers that they were using, like the other manufacturers that got involved in the conversation, were like saying something along the lines of like, well, they were using this number, which is about whether or not it's going to bend or break. And it's like, well, not only is ours obviously certainly not going to do either that, that's not the important number here, and that's not where the cost comes into. He's like, yours can certainly be made much more affordable, but you're marking it up to this. You know, he's like, it's like a hardness is what they're concerned, because it's, you know, and about the quality of the knurling. He's like, basically nothing will fuck up our knurling. Our shit's not going to ding, nothing.
Yeah.
And like that was the number that they pushed for, because they both, I think they're pretty realistically like, listen, you're not going to break any of these bars.
Yeah.
So why is that even? What's the difference if one is 10 times as strong?
Right.
And I think it goes down to, you know, like basically like just how hard the bar is, in that there's no way it's going to bend, no way the knurling's going to get fucked up in a J.
So is that the debate though? The knurling?
They weren't talking about the knurling necessarily, but what they say, and the one that came in to come back at Kabuki Strength was the owner of Rogue.
Yeah.
And he said, "We've got a machine to test that. Send us one of those, and we'll gladly we'll gladly check it out for you." Because he said, "I don't believe that."
Yeah, he
said, "I don't believe that. Like, send us one and we'll test it."
Like the claims they're making for how stiff it is,
because the problem, what they say is that when you put the tensile strength up that high, it makes it very, very strong, but more brittle.
Yeah,
so it's more susceptible to breaking.
And I think they even talked about that a little bit in one of theirs.
Yeah.
In the Kabuki one, just saying like when you increase, you know, the stiffness is that you get more brittle.
Yeah, but they say that they did something that they did is somewhat different, that they're able to increase the strength but still prevent the brittleness that would normally happen. But I don't believe the Rogue guy believed that, because he said, "I don't believe that. Send me one and I would test it."
I would think though, if you wanted to call him out, like, why don't you just spend the money, send one.
Yeah, right.
It's like you're Rogue.
Right.
Rogue, I mean, like,
Right. Yeah.
You know, you'll be just
$600 to you doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Get one there. You don't even need his permission then, either.
Right. And just do it.
And then you can just do it.
Yeah.
Like, instead, you're going to be like, I mean, I have no problem with any of these guys. But, I mean, if I want my competition to give me the opportunity to motherfuck them, I would not expect them to hand that opportunity to me. Especially when it comes at cost to them. What I would do is take that opportunity and motherfuck them. You know what I mean? So just do
if
that.
Especially if you really believe that
Really believe it, buy it, put your money where your mouth is, and throw it right in their face. And then they can't justify the price, they can't justify anything, and you win. Because that's if you can actually say that and prove it and say, here is ours, here is theirs, even if it's all the same and there's a pricing difference, it's like, well, we win. Here's how we prove the value. Bing, bang, boom. But that should cost you some money to win that battle.
And after
just do it.
After using both bars, I can say that unless you're like maybe Ray Williams, the stiffness is never ever a factor ever. Like it's not even. It's not possible.
None of those bars are.
They've been engineered past the point where you can't even. If there is a difference in stiffness, it's not to the point where a human can tell. So that's you can't even.
A lot of people do say that the Texas Power Bar is whippier than those ones.
I will agree, though. The Texas Power Bar is whippier.
Thick Nick did say today, too, he was like, that Kabuki bar is the stiffest fucking bar he has even imagined.
Yeah.
But once you get kilo plates on them, though, the Kabuki bar or the Rogue bar, they're the same. The biggest difference is just how the knurling feels. And if the argument they're making is that their knurling is more durable than the other one, they could have they could have a point there where one is more valuable because the knurling's going to last forever. But outside of knurling durability, I don't know what there is to argue there.
Well, and also nobody's putting 2,000 pounds on it like ever. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Not until this summer in Massenomics gym.
But like, if one could hold up to 2,500 pounds and the other one could hold up to 2,700 pounds.
Could we do like a 5-man deadlift?
Just need a longer bar.
We're gonna have to face each other.
Well, we could do it with 2 people deadlifting and 2 people benching from underneath,
or just a forklift.
Yeah, it's one of those things though where it's getting to the point of like arguing numbers that are never
They
going
don't
to
matter. But like I think we mentioned it before, it's kind of like buying a car that can go 700 miles an hour. It's like, well, yeah, but you're not gonna.
Yeah.
So what does it matter?
Right.
As long as it's not a pain in the ass to do 80, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
But that's been, I've actually today was the first time I ever deadlifted with that Kabuki bar. That fucking thing just chewed up my hands, though. Man, my soft, sensitive hands.
And I always have the problem more with the Rogue bar. For whatever reason, the Rogue bar cuts my hands up way worse than the Kabuki bar. I don't know why.
I think we're pussies.
Yep.
I don't hear anyone else complaining about those things. You have you ever listened to podcasts where people are like, the knurling really
grinds my hands up.
Hurts my hands. I think, I do want to get into something though that we had been talking about that's near and dear to our hearts.
Bitcoin.
Listen, here's the deal with Bitcoin. I don't think that you can fit. There's no such thing as a physical Bitcoin, except for somehow now, because of these conversations, I'll get like an Instagram ad that'll say like the first physical Bitcoin. I'm like, that's gonna be. I don't want that. I don't think that's a thing. But think of if there were, how many physical Bitcoins you could hide into the Massenomics Flex Flask.
Oh,
yeah.
What a segue, you guys. You see how I did that?
Yeah.
But what would be even better than fake pretend kid money in there? Water.
Water's great.
And why put things that don't exist in there? and just put water.
I put water in mine every day.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you drink it too?
Usually.
Yeah.
That does work great.
That's really good.
You guys drink water too? That's pretty cool. I want to share something with you. I also drink water, and I also drink water out of my Massenomics Flex Flask.
You and me, we're not so different after all.
We're not so different after all. You and your majestic hair, and me with my sad ass hairline.
But both of you drinking water
out of the same flask.
Yeah.
I mean, not at the same time,
and not literally the same one.
But it's got the same stuff on it.
Yeah. They look pretty cool too.
So you can get those at the Massenomics store at Massenomics.com. It's pretty much the coolest, basically. They're selling like hotcakes. I don't know how many do we even have left now.
Probably none with how many we've been selling.
You're going to want to check right away, and if they're in stock, you're going to want to get them.
I think this particular one I'm holding in my hand, we are getting a little lower on. We may only have one of this in this color left. So,
oh shit!
And it's not this one.
It's not that.
I'm not going to send you this one I've been
one.
drinking out of for a few months here.
We'll send
so.
you the one that we've been peeing in. It's a long drive over here.
This is an excellent product, though. We're also fully stocked of the Weekend Warrior T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Extra small all the way up to 4XL. We still have some 4XLs. So.
And we want to hype you guys up here. We cannot unveil the details yet, but I will say that we are going to have pretty soon here in the next. By the time you're hearing this, I would say within a month, a new hot shirt design here.
New design.
Which is part one of us becoming a full-fledged fashion company.
Yes.
Basically.
We can leave this lifting thing behind and
Think
get to our fashion
What
roots.
we really need to get into next after this. Okay, let's go back to the shirt. It's going to be awesome, super awesome. You guys are going to love it. You're going to buy millions of them, if not dozens of them, and
or even ones of them, too.
It is a design that we have not put on a shirt yet.
no,
So it's not going to be us putting this on another different product.
nope.
Although
Even though we probably
that's been
will
very
also
good,
put that
yes.
on other products.
It's been good to us and good to you guys, but this will be something completely different.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fly. So keep an eye out for that. The main reason we're telling you this a little early is we want you to save your money so you can buy as many of those as possible when they come out. Now, if you've saved enough money to get maybe a T-shirt, you got a little extra, well, buy that right away. Buy yourself a flask. But yeah, that'll be coming up pretty soon here, and that'll be awesome.
Yep. We've got this in a very few number of sweatshirts left. The Weekend Warrior Lift sweatshirt.
If it's in stock,
Yes.
if it'll let you add it to the cart, we've got it.
Now the only sizes would be large or extra large that you could possibly purchase. So
Get your shit together.
yep. So you're going to either have to learn to fill one of those out or squeeze down to that, if that be the case.
We'd rather you just fill one out.
Yeah.
So if you're a large, buy the extra large.
Yes, and
hope.
if you want one, go buy that right now because there is very few of them.
And there probably won't be more.
Right. There will not be more after that. So
So
one chance.
limited edition stuff. It's good stuff. So, well, we are about out of content here, except I did have on reserve, since Mark Bell is gone, I have a fairly embarrassing poop story.
Oh.
Since the Powercast is no more, I guess do we
Yeah.
get to take over the poop story niche?
I think so.
All those people that found out about that from our last week's episode and have now
Jump
migrated
ship.
to
And they're like,
us.
yeah, all of their listeners are now our listeners.
Yeah.
That's what we need them to give us, just one shout out. Like, hey guys, we're shutting it down. Just listen to Massenomics instead. It's been real.
Yep,
They're
they're
better
doing better,
anyways.
and will always be better than we ever could be. So
So, all right. So I have a little poop story here, and this is not a pretty one. If you think that I'm not a disgusting person, I'd like you to keep it that way and just tune out. But
But if you already think of that,
so the other day, I'm taking a pretty serious one in the morning. I had had a few drinks the night before, so things were not the most put together, if you will, from a hardness standpoint.
yeah, I think I get what you're saying here.
We're
I'm
talking
following so far.
Hashtag soft stool. And then now in my main floor bathroom, I have a bidet in the main floor and the upstairs. However,
From your French heritage, for people that don't listen.
yeah, it's no big deal. It's just like to have a clean booty. Keep the butthole clean, guys and gals. But anyway, the problem is, mine is a cheap one, so you don't have a lot of directional control. Meaning, I have to. It basically got knocked off center, so it misses.
so you have to move to
No,
where it goes.
meaning
You gotta find it?
No, meaning I have to. What I haven't done in months is take 3 minutes to unhook it
To
and adjust
realign
it,
the old poop
and
shooter.
adjust it, and that's it. But I haven't done that, which means the bidet on the main floor I don't use. Problem number one. That's a red flag right
Yep,
there. So, I'm finishing up. No bidet. Worst case scenario, right? Just a fucking mess. Shower's running though. We're gonna clean up what we can, and we're gonna get in, and we're gonna do what we got to do. First wipe. And you go and then you kind of take a peek. Be like, what are we
working with here?
How many more of these?
What
do
am I
have
in
to do?
for?
Does everyone do that?
You
I just
have to.
assume, like
You gotta know, because like you don't know what.
Like, do I need to wipe 7 more times?
Yeah.
Am
But
I
you
done
know
now?
that's never the first one.
No.
But like
If that happens, you know how good that feeling is, though? Like,
oh, it is.
I have evolved
this is
to
the
a
best
higher
day
level.
ever.
What I do then,
to repeat
then
this.
I like shut the shower off, and I'm like, see you next week, buddy. But no, so I get there's fucking, and I'm like, whoa, it was really alarming. I was like, that is so, like I should have let it hang for longer even, because I was like so much. We're like, well, fucking restart. And I go, and we're talking a dozen wipes here before I'm like, all right,
of toilet
we're like, I'm pretty comfortable with this. I was going to give it a second, and then, the turning, the guy gets tired. And I was going to give it one more shot. And then I look on the, I have, probably because we're just garbage people. Instead of having a shower mat out in front of the shower, which I think is gross because it always gets feet and water, and it sits there forever. So I don't know how often people change their shower mats. What I do is I just take a towel, like a towel that maybe I showered with once, because I don't like reusing my towels to shower with. I think that's how the zombie outbreak is going to happen. But so what I do when my wife gets mad at me for not reusing my towels is I take the one that I used yesterday,
and it's demoted to the floor.
And then I put it on the floor, because I got one of them shower doors that it's a total first world problem. But anyway, so I got this towel there, right out in front of the shower, which is right next to where I'm at. And I'm getting ready for my last wipe, and I look over, and looks like a little chunk of shit on the towel. But we are talking a good 3 feet away from the toilet and at an angle. What? And so I'm like, there's no fucking way that was me. I'm like,
it's Lincoln's,
Lincoln's 10.
Dog.
Get over I'm like, Lincoln's 10. Like, he shouldn't be shitting his pants. But, like, maybe something squeaked out. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't wipe when he got out. But I'm like, no, because I'm not a very good dad. I know he hasn't showered in like 2 days. I haven't, you know what I mean? I was like, so it certainly was. And then I was like, it's not Fletch, because his turds are so huge. Yeah. And I'm like, maybe it's fucking food.
So you ate it.
So nope, not my first thought.
It was food at one point in time.
And that's where I went wrong. So what I did then was I was like, well, I got to find out. So I reached out and I just scooped it up with my finger, and I was like, that sure looks like poop. But I was like, I still couldn't fucking believe that it got there. I couldn't the math didn't add up. I mean, it did everything except turn a corner to get there. It just didn't make sense to me.
Aliens.
So I was like, is it chocolate? Like, it was that thing where I was like, well, here we go. I go, totally poop, totally smelled like the poop I just took, meaning that was my poop. That first fucking wipe where you go like that, where you came up to take a little gander, I just there must have been so much on there that it just flung some of it off like a fucking catapult. And it was like it was I mean, like the size of my thumbprint, just laying there. And then I'm like sitting there. I still had another wipe to do, had I planned. I was like, fuck. So I was gonna clean this up and wipe again and wash my fucking hands again and get in the shower and be like, and it's one of those things you get in the shower and you like lean your head against the wall and you're like, I am a real piece of shit.
What did I do to get here?
It's like, good Lord. Like, it's a good thing that I'm not gonna say this on a podcast in which thousands of people are gonna hear. Because that would be super embarrassing. What the best thing to do, Tyler, would be to not tell anybody. Nobody has to know. You're just going to keep that inside, and you're going to hate yourself for this forever.
Just bury it deep.
Do that.
Yeah, so I did that for 3 days, and then here we are. I just can't keep it in. But that's my poop story.
So are you more cautious in the whole wiping process now?
No, I got to
slow that down.
I got to fix that bidet. You just got to hose that shit off like the underside of a truck.
Yeah, with taking a pressure washer to the bottom of an
old in there and
dirty
just blast
truck.
it all off. And yeah, that's the only way. But so guys, get a bidet and keep your. I think the moral of the story is keep your butthole clean and buy American made.
Yeah,
clean and tight.
So on that note, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Did we have anything else we want to get out?
I think that was all of it.
Yeah, I think let me look through the itinerary here. We had the lifter appreciation meet. We've got Matt's IPF stuff. We've got the thing Tommy interrupted with. Yep. We have reviews. We've got that. And Tyler poop on the floor. And the thing, I think we covered the show notes really flawlessly.
Yeah.
Well, perfect order too.
Yeah, preparation really is.
Nothing was out of order.
Yeah, we come correct here. We don't half-ass this at all. So, well, thanks a lot for listening, everybody. Do us a favor between now and next week. Again, make sure you get out there and hustle every company in this industry that you know, anyone that may somewhat be related to strength sports, and go to the General Leathercraft page, either on Instagram or on Facebook. They have their GoFundMe information there. If they have any questions about that, Matt is pretty good at being out in front of that too. So try and get them on board with that. Also, while you're out dicking around, go to Massenomics.com. They're going to find our store, the Flex Flask, the Superfly hat Tanner's got on, the shirt that Tommy's got on.
Yeah.
Tommy, coming correct. And that's going to be there. Also, all our articles and videos are going to be there, including the not updated list of the strength sports podcasts, the ever shrinking list of strength sports podcasts. So, but anyway, all of our archived articles are there. Our old podcast episodes are there. So if you want to catch up, that's the place to do it at. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Go to youtube.com/Massenomics. Subscribe to the page. Click on notifications to the page if you'd like. And make sure you tell a friend, tell everybody about us. We really basically what we want to do is get all of the Powercasts listeners, just all of them, to just come listen to us. So I know there's 12 or 13 of them. So
yeah, shouldn't be hard.
No. So if you know Steve, Dennis, Carl, and their 10 friends, send them our way. Over. And but anyway, that'll be. But spread the word on that. If you have any business stuff you'd like to talk to us about, email us at getbig@massenomics.com. That's where you can talk about sponsorship. You can send us money. You can also send us money that way. And getbig@massenomics.com is where you're going to want to go if you want to send us money. Other than that, we're down to just Instagram now.
The Instagram.
So I'm Tyler. You can find me at Tyler F. Stone. That's Tyler EFFIN Stone. Tommy?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
And Tanner.
The official Massenomics Instagram page at Massenomics.
Tremendous. So thanks a lot for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next week, and stay strong.
Later.
You just heard the Massenomics podcast. With your ears, you're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.